If you agree to the terms of service on Disney Plus, I have some advice for the common netizen. Absolutely do not, under any circumstances, die at Disney World. All the while, each and every franchise the company touches now goes from solid gold to horseshit. The company isn't just a franchise killer anymore, but now also a real-life killer, shirking responsibility any chance it can. Why? Recently, the news came out about the death of a New York doctor who had a severe allergic reaction to food served at Raglan Road Irish Pub while on vacation with her husband. Despite being assured multiple times that the food was in fact safe, once before and once after inquiring due to the lack of allergen-free flags, she was assured that the food was all right. But 45 minutes later, while shopping alone, she experienced a severe allergic reaction, collapsing to the floor. And even after using an EpiPen, she still didn't make it and later passed away at the hospital. The husband, in response, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company for $50,000, essentially pocket money for the company at this point. But even with the billions upon billions of dollars in the mouse's bottomless pockets and their seemingly indestructible empire of Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, lawyers from the Mouse House are now trying to get out scot-free by claiming that his signing up for a 1-month free trial on Disney Plus in 2019 waived his right to a jury. During the making of this video, about 3 hours ago, Disney announced they would allow the widowed husband to go to court with them. But considering the relevance of arbitration agreements hidden in the terms of service of many companies, and how jaded I've become with modern media, I'm still sharing my thoughts. You know, the terms of service that no one reads thoroughly in its entirety because language like this is practically unreadable, along with the pages and pages of unnecessary jargon. Who the fuck reads this? And then the court says, oh, well, if you don't like it, then don't sign it. Here's an idea. Why don't we make documents legally requiring us to sign our names, have limitations like word count so that any normal person can read through the thing in a reasonable amount of time, or at least make it stated in plain English what they're about to sign. The fact that the company has the gall to go out of its way to claim that anyone subscribed to its failing subscription service, which by the way has already lost the company anywhere between $4 and $11 billion, is subject to their legal loopholes. Disney is now avoiding his lawsuit, claiming that he must not tackle the issue via litigation, but rather arbitration. No, not that arbiter. There you go. Arbitration is a private dispute resolution process where an impartial third party, known as an arbitrator, makes a decision about a given dispute. The parties involved agree to submit their disagreement to arbitration instead of going to court. So instead of going full Johnny Depp Amber Heard to resolve major issues between two parties in front of a jury, you take it outside to solve it privately and not get the law to potentially do you in. But apparently many corporations are now sneaking arbitration laws into their terms of service agreements to give themselves leverage in case of catastrophes just like this one. I don't know if I want to take responsibility. Just write an arbitration clause and you should be fine. Really? Oh, by the way, did you sign up for Disney Plus? Yeah, why? In all seriousness, though, if the court hasn't already found this to be substantively unconscionable, I will have lost even more faith in a legal system likely already bought out by the major corporations. If the U.S. courts cared about the people more than it does corporations, they would have bailed us out for student loans and not them for PPP loans in 2020. But that, my friends, is another discussion. But speaking of atrocities, now we have Snow White finally coming out, having been delayed for a year when we all found out that the 7 magical creatures were getting an overhaul, when they finally realized that changing the fundamentals to one of their most beloved films of all time wasn't such a great idea. But goddamn, take a look at how unnatural all of these movements look. It's just a perfect visual representation of the lifelessness that this company now represents. Disney has become a vampire-like, blood-sucking monstrosity that has completely annihilated all creativity from the large franchises it has acquired.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Personally speaking, I wouldn't really care so much if there wasn't a clear resentment you can palpably feel every time a Hollywood actor opens up their mouth just to tell us how much better they know than us, as they continue to lecture us from their million-dollar mansions. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Why don't you go ride around in your Lamborghini for a bit? Maybe you'll feel better. Only a company incompetent enough can take something as timeless as Star Wars and turn it into a fucking utter laughingstock, a name so big that it could have printed out billions of dollars for them for decades to come, had they just made the effort to understand the source material. But they didn't, and Bob Iger admitted it. I bet the Disney PR team is continuing to have one of the best endless field days of their lives. Disney destroys entire franchises, focusing entirely on profit, but they're not even competent enough to do that. And the gold standard that 20th century America used to know the company for, like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King, has all but disappeared, and been replaced by a corporate machine hellbent on lecturing us all for the good of humanity. while having piss all to say when responsible for their deaths. In this case, a completely avoidable one at that, doing their part among many other companies in utterly destroying their legacy, and leaving guys like me staring at their computer screens in disbelief that the people running this shit don't have a clue or any incentive to care, even the slightest bit, about their moral depravity.